task, after lunch to speak. But I'll try my best to ensure that, I get some attention of some of my people who are there in the forum and we are able to talk about it. This is a very interesting topic, but before I start that, I always want to share an example and I would want someone from the crowd also to contribute with me, how well do we know the person who is living next door, where we stay. If I have to ask you, how well do you all know the person who is living either in front of you or next to you? If anyone can raise their hand, and say, yes, I know a lot about him. Please, sir.
That can be a very unique case for me because in our floor we are having 4 flats and we live as an extended family. So the entire COVID time or any difficult period, we enjoy the time with each other.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Anyone else who would want to just share an example that how well do we know the person who is living next door to us? I'm asking a very personal question, but still, most of the time what we go through across is the same problem and the same channel when we work professionally. It happens within the team, it happens within departments, it happens within the same organization. And that definitely correlates back to something which is very imperative for all of us to focus is our customers. And that's where sometimes that thin line makes us to go away from actually where customer anticipates that we are going to come back and talk to him, right? While you see on your screen is something about a customer data platform. I'm not going to use jargons to explain it, but in simple language, if all of us have to be together, the only objective we need to have is a single view, a single frame where we can identify who my customer is. Now, once again, I would want to ask someone from the crowd, if someone can tell me, can you really describe in one line who your customer is? Anyone? Yes, please. Great. A very short, simple answer, giving everyone. But if I am more precise, in everyone, which customer you prefer the most? So one with the buying capacity. And see, this is exactly what starts happening when we try to dissect anything, and then we feel that, whether our processes, products, our systems, the engine which we create, which we believe makes a lot of sense to the end customer. In reality, sometimes we feel that we are too far away from what actually customer is looking forward for. And that's where I personally believe that this customer data platforms gives us an upper edge. Upper edge in just knowing exactly the way you want to know your neighbor who is living next door. You know his habits, you know his preferences, कितने बजे आता है, कितने बजे जाता है, गाड़ी कहाँ पार्क करता है, weekends कैसे spend करता है, this exactly information because we are associated to it. And this is the power today, what I personally believe in corporate life, the customer data platform contributes or gives us when we work for our actual customers, as rightly said by someone in the audience, that everyone is a customer within the organization or outside the organization. Moving ahead, I will not use those numbers which is there on the screen, but the whole objective of giving across this is that sometimes we are very sure that, we are aware what is customer 360. We definitely are able to connect back that what is a need in the market of a customer. Bhai customer ko simple product chahiye. Customer ko, as someone rightly said in the crowd, is buying capacity. But in that, you also have a section of a customer who is not worried about a buying capacity, but he's technically looking forward for a simple word called as service. But even when we define a word service, isn't it important for all of us to know that what kind of a service do we want to give? And this era where all of us are living, I think generative AI being a talk lot about, I've attended a lot of forums, a lot of interesting discussions I have heard from my senior colleagues or colleagues from the industry, where they've really highlighted that this becomes a very moment of truth for them to attempt and how to service, when to service, and what's the right way to service. Generally this is what gets missed when we look at a customer, and this customer 360 persona which we create for ourselves actually helps us to know that are we aligned to a customer or somewhere we are very far from his right expectation. One line in this presentation which I want this entire forum to really focus on is about the objective. holistic view. I personally believe, in my own personal experience being a insurance professional for last 20 years, I have seen huge amounts of change, the way customers have started interacting, the way customers have started looking at the insurance company. Today, no more it is all about that I need to get a cover. They love to hear from a insurance company who says that you are empowered to take any calls or any decision you want to take on your policy. For that matter, in the financial services, I think from in my previous, I would want to quote one of the examples which I got from one of my fellow panelists in my previous event. Very wonderfully said that to apply for a loan, earlier all of us are aware it was a huge process of paperwork, a huge process of verification, lot of checks and balances to be done. And still, it's subjective because you're dependent on to the guy who's sitting somewhere in some office trying to take a final call, loan dena hai ya nahi dena hai. Similarly, in insurance, you're still dependent on someone to take a decision, isko policy cover dena hai ya nahi dena hai. But this holistic view, today, I think when I talk about financial services, lot amount of information is handily available. Customer CIBIL score, which talks about his financials, right? You have got customers' entire persona available with you with the help of the account aggregator functionality which has come up. You know his financials, you know how he spends his money, where he spends his money. Those minute information actually helps you to define that what view you want to practically give to your customer. So I would urge the group, and I personally follow it, that within the organization, with the help of data, this holistic view is very, very critical, very, very important for all of us if we really want to enhance the customer experience. I'm sure all of us would have got a lot of emails and SMS talking about wishing you birthdays. But one of my experiences I will share with you, and I was really amazed when I got that call from Swiggy. I had cancelled an order because the guy was late, the food was still delivered. I got a call and he said, sir, we know you have cancelled the order. We have got the confirmation from the delivery guy that still the order is delivered. Please take it as a token of service from our side and an apology that we couldn't deliver to you when you were looking forward for. That made my immediate reaction to that guy, thank you so much, I would really want to pay. Because nobody wants to take favor. But I got bounded and attached to that particular episode which happened with me by telling, it gave me an assurance that even if it's delayed, no worries, money to refund ho jayega, but these kind of gestures create huge amount of confidence back. And how were they able to make this decision? When I went a bit longer on a call with that guy by telling I personally belong to the operations field and where I service customer, what made you believe that you should give me this order free? He actually called it out that in the last 3 months that this is what we have seen your transactions. This is how your order trend has been. I think most of the time you call for your kid. That's really great. And I think this order was also for your kid. And we felt that it is really, really wrong on our part. We were not able to bring that smile back at your home. And that's the power of data. That's the power of Customer 360, which makes you believe that you are just not a customer, you are a valuable customer to them. So that's how, some important facts and figures are there on the slide, but I wouldn't want to take your time there. This is place where I personally believe, including me, sometimes we go wrong. Very important, critical, we know where, when, and which route the customer will actually approach us. And that's where we miss most of the times. Another wonderful example I want to share with one of my ex-colleague, one of my colleague in the insurance industry. His name is Mr. Ankit. In one of the panel discussions, we were talking about, what is the right point where you can identify a customer. And he gave a wonderful example of an airline where he said that the flight was delayed for 6 hours. Obviously, any flight, when it is delayed for 6 hours, you get, a food coupon, a lounge to sit across and, spend your time. But Ankit basically got a specialized drink, which he had always ordered when he was there on his airline. It was an international flight. He used to always take that order. That kind of an information was stored by this airline. And the service point, they knew there was a delay. They knew there is a customer waiting. They immediately ensured that he get the choice of his own drink, which will at least make him comfortable, a smile on his face, that wow, I have got something which I was not expecting. I was thinking I will be onboarded and then I'm going to get it. And this is only possible if you really look back into your data, dissect your information, and you know how your customer is using which channel to reach. It can be your branch, it can be your call center, or an email desk. And today, a lot of us are quite well glued back to apps, or even for Insta for that matter. And you want to post a lot of things on social media. So when a very sharp eye, where you know your customer is going to interact with you, that's the point. If you know and you use your 360 to service well, you'll be able to give an integrated services. Another example I would want to quote with you, all of you must have faced it when you enter a bank. There is a absolute chain available. You want to basically deposit a cash, or you want to update some information on your bank. There are guys who are aware about it, that what kind of a wealth you hold across. And someone will definitely walk up to you and you say that, "Sir, welcome. We have got some 1 or 2 financial planning scope available for you." It sounds to us like, someone has again come back selling to me. Now I'll share one beautiful example of iBank, which was written in one of the articles, and that brought out that they started creating service hubs in their banks for few of their net worth individual and customers. Their objective was, you invested in me, you trusted in me, I'm there to care for you. And whenever these customers walk in, I'm sure you must have seen there is a wealth management section separate in few of the top iBank branches. They're straight away welcomed there. First, they're always confirmed, updated about everything what is happening in their account. What this indicates? It gives a clear message back to the customer that cross-selling and selling will take care of it. That's not the objective. The objective is just wanted to keep you updated that, we are keeping a watch on all sorts of your investments which you're doing. We are giving you confidence that your finances are in the safe hand. Second, they really go back and connect back to whatever recent interactions and transactions this customer has done and try to understand that was it an experience or was it another interaction you had with of our employees. So at the end of the day, to the entire group today who is there in this room, the only thing which I want to share with you is that these touch points becomes a clear framework for all of us. If we work data rightly, we segment data correctly, we use it in a 360 fashion to get a holistic view, and this customer data platforms really help us to come to a positive and a right way of note when we're dealing with our customers. At the end, I think I have covered a lot. I will not take much time on the very last slide of mine. But the message which I want to share, or my own personal learning which I have taken across, is that in today's world, personalized servicing is very important. And when you service personally, this data should also help you to do one thing when a customer is trying to go away from you, a call to action. That call to action can be that he wants to give you a feedback. That call to action can be he wants to think about another product for you. A call to action can be that you are a recall value for him. Doesn't matter. But the objective is using the information available at our disposal, how well we can communicate with him and ensure that he gets connected back with us so that we build loyalty. With loyalty, we get repeat customer. With repeat customer, you get business benefits. With business benefits, practically you are able to scale up well, and scale up well on account of having a very good service framework. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, guys.
And to do the felicitation, I would request Ms. Dipakshi Khera from Bajaj Allianz to honor Mr. Shammi Kapoor, please.